note on Je ne suis pas un salaud, a decent man. A French film, good, maybe even very good. French films are generally good to excellent. I can think of only very few films, French films, that I didn't like, but then it was clear that their purpose was commercial. The Asterix series, and otherwise, L'arnaqueur, The Patron mon corps s'est arrêté, Le Prophète, so many, Mon oncle d'Amérique, 400 blows, the list is Le Mépris, interminable, and that's so great. This one is a conflict between two men, mostly. Je ne suis pas un salaud. This is a man, white, male, French national, who is attacked in the street by a group of people from with a different origin, maybe perhaps French nationals, and this in a way raises the known issue of nationalism, Le Pen on one side, even if there's no mention of her in the film, and the radicals among the Muslims in their majority are like any other religious group. They are decent people, peaceful, they don't want any trouble. But on the French, they have extremists who have not adapted, and they attack innocent bystanders, so to say, like last night in London. Another lunatic drove his car into a group of people and killed 4, catastrophically injured, as the police report mentioned, a number of others, so 20 or so. So there is also this issue of perception, of segregation, of discrimination, and indeed quite a number of Muslims, extremists, have been radicalized by the fact that they feel isolated, they didn't integrate, they are raised in, if not slums, in housing units that are much poorer than the rest of France, so to say, and it's true in other, from what I understand, in other countries. And they're stigmatized, that's a problem. They have a racial profiling, and then they are more suspected of criminal activities. As again in other parts, in America, African Americans are much more harassed, stopped, interviewed, searched for weapons or drugs by the police. And part of the explanation of why you have many more, comparing to their proportion in the population, many more African American in jails is because they are targeted much more. So if you tend to search this community way more than the rest, well, you tend to find within this community the suspects, culprits, and convicts ultimately. So here we have this white man, a decent man, who is accusing an Arab, so to say, Arab in the sense of this is his origin, of being part of the attack, when they have the well-known lineup, he identifies his opponent, his adversary, so to say, and he says, it's him. He was there. No, I was not. That's the answer throughout. But then the man insists. Throughout, we see, in fact, that on one hand we have the accused, the Arab, so to say, having to fight and having to suffer, even if it appears he's innocent. Throughout, I was thinking, did I see him with those people? I don't know. Anyway, he has a just position, even if he feels very upset. He curses, especially in private, and he's violently opposing him in court and all that. Still, when the family, his girlfriend says that they know his address and his brother, his friends are ready to act, and indeed they do. They threaten this white accuser. He says, no, stop. It's true. It's a sense of self-preservation, because he realizes and says, look, they will come back after me. They will see there's something wrong, and so he stays in a state of revolt, if not hatred, violent rejection of this man who is accusing him wrongfully, he says. While the other, that's the interesting, I thought very interesting involution, very interesting change. The man who accuses the other, and indeed who has suffered during the violent attack. He was knocked down and he was beaten. Experiences the reverse change. He becomes violent in the family. He has problems there, and no spoiler alert, I will not say what happens. No way. But still, we see him from this point where he was normal, let's say decent, even if there is a question there. Is he a racist? Does he have what we tend to do at times, this tendency to be prejudiced and think of all these statistics, while a certain group is more involved in crime, even if, as I said, this explanation is given. The police authorities concentrate much more on certain groups, and therefore that's where they have their success, within that group. So if we have this biased attitude, we tend to see what we're looking for. So he's an Arab, he's suspect and dangerous by definition, so to say. And this is also a sort of a mirror that we have in front of us. Do we feel like that? It's interesting, I've read in psychology books that, well, first of all, in Influence by the magnificent Robert Cialdini, we tend to like those in our groups and enter into conflict with the other groups, even if we're talking just Boy Scouts. They tested on Boy Scouts the Eagles versus the Pumas, and they saw that the Eagles were burning the flags of the Pumas, and they would elbow them and become violent. So there is this thing, and also when they were studying doctors, unconsciously they made racial differences. These people were not consciously racist, and of course, even if they had this unconscious, subconscious tendency to separate, it wasn't in the sense of discriminating against the other race, but still they gave different treatments according to the group that the would-be patient belonged to. So we have a tendency to separate, to be divisive, and in cases racist. An interesting film.